live in Beverly Hills with Marga Lane. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time for speaking with Youth Magazine, Star Chat Magazine this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So you have this big project that just came out, your EP called Expressions. Talk a little bit about the dynamic of this wonderful project and what you wanted to showcase to America.
Well, originally it was called Inspirations.
Okay.
Just because the songs were written about people that inspired me to write the songs.
Yeah.
And then I was having a discussion with a friend, and they're like, you know, it's more like your expressions and things that you never said. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so right. So I credit my friend for helping me get the title.
Okay.
So it just kind of, I had been working and writing for other artists and just kind of pitching songs and doing stuff. And I was like, you know what, I'm writing so many of these songs that nobody's hearing, and I always wanted to be the artist myself. So, you know, I was like, let me put something out and let me express myself, and this is what I was feeling in the past, you know, two years.
Okay.
Tried to pick the best 7 of the songs.
Yeah,
so.
definitely. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about some of these songs, or the whole album in general, for those that don't know. There's a song called Painkiller. Talk a little bit about the backstory and the premise about that song.
Well, I was in a relationship at the time.
Okay.
And my mom and I were talking, and she's like, you know, you need to start writing heartbreak songs. And she's like, all your songs are about heartbreak. And I was like, well, that's because these men just act a fool. So she's like, no, write something good. And so I happened to be seeing somebody at the time, and I was like, you know, he's kind of like my painkiller. And with medicine, you know, you're like, they take away all the previous pain and all the pain and everything. And so I was like, you're gonna be in a song, and it's gonna be my first like really good song. So yeah, that's what it's about. Just kind of taking away all the pain from previous relationships.
Right on, right on. Now, what's the backstory behind Finish Line?
Finish Line was kind of just, you know, when you're like with somebody and you just kind of realize it's the end. It's kind of, you just keep going around in circles. And actually, I wrote it during the time when I was watching the Olympics. Okay. And I run. Okay. So I was like huge into like watching Alice and Felix and like all the runners and stuff. So I was like, that'd be kind of a dope concept for a song to, you know, correlate between being at the end of a relationship and then being, you know, the end of the finish line.
Exactly. So. Exactly. All right. I can relate.
Yeah. Right.
Letters from My Heart. Backstory behind that.
That is a true story.
I bet it is. I think this whole EP is all about your true story.
That I literally found a bra in someone's bed that I was seeing, and I picked it up and I was like, this is a song. Literally, that is what went through my mind before anything else. And it's so funny because my friends were like, really, you weren't like mad or upset? I was like, no. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in a soap opera right now and I'm gonna write a song about it. So literally that day I left before I confronted any situation, and I went and I sat down at my piano. Kid you not, it took me an hour to write the whole song, start to finish. Just like came out. I don't know, it's some like gift of God.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's the backstory on that one.
All right, now I've listened to Aftershock, which was I was listening to the Young Celebrity News Radio, and they've been playing it. They've been playing that, and I like that song. So talk a little bit about Aftershock.
That's one of my favorites. It was kind of just, I don't know, I experienced my first earthquake here in California when I first moved here, like 3 or 4 years ago. Okay. And so I get, and my mind works in weird ways, but I get these like random ideas, and you know, you feel like the aftershocks, and you do like research on earthquakes, and at that time I was back and forth with somebody. I was like, it's kind of like an aftershock, because you can't let go, and you keep waiting and waiting for the time they're going to come back, and the time you let them go, and then the time they come back, so it's kind of like the aftershocks. If anything, a friendship or relationship, it can be, you know, there's always remnants of your past that you carry with you, and you're just kind of waiting for them to like resurface.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Breaking rules sounds fun. Tell me a little bit about how you break your rules.
I think breaking rules is good. I think you should always break with some sort of rules, because I don't think we'd have, you know, the Oprahs or those, you know, Martin Luther Kings, all those people, like, they in essence fought for what they believed in, and I'm sure they broke a million rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as you don't like hurt anybody
absolutely.
in the process.
Absolutely, absolutely. You'll be fine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No harm, no foul. Well, this is of course, self-explanatory, but you like boys, so and boys, I like them.
Men, correction.
Men.
Men.
Okay. Well, in the song though, it says
yes.
boys, I like them. So tell me a little bit about that.
That was actually a joke.
Okay.
I was in the studio with my producer Hug, and he's amazing, awesome. He actually produced Painkiller and Letter from
Okay.
We were just sitting there, and he was making this beat, and I was like, I want something like Beyonce, Diva, something that like fun,
right.
and we played in the clubs, and so he just started fooling around, and I was like, I like them boys, and he's like, oh, I like that, and I was like, me too, and he was like, let's just write a song about it. Okay, cool. So it literally was a joke. We had the hook, or like the rappy hook thing, and then like, you know what, we might as well just do a whole song, and we did.
Might as well.
It came up like great.
I heard a little bit of Crime Scene. Talk a little bit about that. That when I first saw the actual song title, I was like, Crime Scene, like CSI type of thing.
Yeah. That's exactly where I got it from. It's exactly where I got it from. I like CSI Miami, but I like all different kinds of like police, like detective,
right.
you know, shows or whatever. And so I was watching CSI, and they were, I don't know what episode it was, but they had something about like a crime scene and all this stuff, and I was just like, that's kind of a cool, again, concept to like
right.
correlate a relationship and, you know, the analogies and the metaphors and all that stuff. That's what I like to try to do, so.
All right. Well, so far so good. I love this interview. Now, I was reading your not reading, but actually watching your life journey, or you gave your life journey on camera, and you said you were 21, 8 suitcases, and you were bound for a purpose and a dream. Must be a feat in itself, I'm sure. Share your groundwork and the direction you hope to go, and have you achieved it so far in your career? I guess living here in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Right? Well, I always wanted to live in Hollywood when I was younger. I used to do like theater. Yeah, it's crazy when I drive by the sign, I was like, whoa, that's like my backyard, pretty much. And it used to be such a big monumental thing, and now it's kind of, you take it for granted.
Yeah.
By the time.
Right.
But yeah, LA is the place to be, you know. And I was just like, I'm gonna try something new and far away from home and here across the country, and just kind of be on my own and see what, you know, the stars had aligned for me. But I'm working towards it. I'm not exactly where I want to be yet, but I think in any stage of your career, you're never exactly where you want to be, right? If you're not satisfied, you're always trying.